Test 1, 2. All right. We don't have that on yet. Oh, that's fun. Hey, there we go. Why am I mean mugging? Trying to get audio figured out. As per usual around here, this stream is going to be a setup stream. I did change a lot of things, and we've got some new, well, one fun new addition. What is up, Giannis? All right. I don't know how long. Hold up. Why can't I hear myself? What happened to monitoring? Herm? Questionable. Headphones. Test 1, 2. I normally have this set up for monitoring so I can hear myself. The PC has been fantastic. I've been very, very stoked. Ooh, and we've got an unstable bitrate. That's interesting. Are we dropping frames? Yeah, the PC's been great. And that's interesting. Do you have a new Twitch account, Giannis? Because I think I know who this is, but you changed your name. Maybe that was it. It highlighted you as a first-time chatter, and I was like, I'm fairly certain this isn't your first time chatting. But it's actually really throwing me off that I can't hear myself. Oh, here's an interesting one. Okay. Now y'all should hear music. Yeah, I don't think music was working a second ago. Hey, what's up, Jason? Soon. Had the wrong email. Oh, nice. I don't even remember what I said was soon. So, yeah, this is really bothering me though, that I can't hear myself, because that's an issue I haven't had before. Very interesting. There's no output routing for that. All right, well, the cool thing... Oh, did I think I just straight up reduced the volume on the monitoring. Okay. Okay. I can hear myself. I think I want to turn down the music a little bit. Oh my gosh, Spiro with the tier 3. Hello. Thank you so much for lurking. Spiro is streaming himself. I stopped by to say hi. We happen to just go live within like half an hour of each other. But yes, if you have not followed Spiro, definitely join me in following him. He's been crushing it on the streaming recently, and release first video on YouTube. But thank you so much for that tier 3. Really appreciate the generosity. All right. So yeah, we've got a couple fun things here. We've got a little bit of setup as per usual. I did this is just what happens when I don't stream frequently enough, I guess. I completely change so many aspects of the setup in between. So it was re-getting my capture card set up this time. I should bring up YouTube chat as well so I can see anything over there. And then I also want to... goodness, I should really have this YouTube chat pop out bookmarked. I'm always having to go and find this. I should really have... There's me, if y'all can hear me again. Pop out chat. And then the last thing is, I think, going to be just shooting out a quick tweet. Should we do a picture for the go live? Oh. Oh man. Yeah, Spiro with the tier 3 is absolutely insane. Really, really appreciate that generosity. We've got the YouTube chat up now, so I can see if there's anybody over there. The bitrate is still saying unstable for me, but I don't know. I have 0 dropped frames, so hoping that's fine. Hoping that the audio is acceptable. And once I do this picture, all right. Oh my gosh. Dude, I think I'm getting a cold or something, man. We got tea for this stream, which will be necessary. Because I am not feeling fantastic, but let's muster up the energy for a thumbs up. Slightly hinged, only ever partially hinged on this stream. And we'll get that over to the Twitters. Alright, assuming I get stream working, we'll be restarting, be converting. Post this, put the twitch.tv/natecodes. youtube.com/natecodes. I want Twitch to be the preview. Alright. We tweeted. We did a thing. We did the thing. Oh, Jason, you're sick as well. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. And Giannis, thank you so much for the tier 1. Really appreciate that. Alright, so. The switcheroony here, a literal sense, Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be super duper fun. Man, I have had so many different configurations. This is fantastic. Like, I literally have my OBS across, like I have 3 different OBS configurations across 3 different computers because I was streaming from my Mac for a while. I was streaming from my old PC. This is the setup on my new PC. And I did a portable OBS setup, I think on my old PC when I streamed with Finite. But generally speaking, how are things looking? How do I look? How's the music? How's the sound? I think my mic could be a little bit higher, perhaps. And we're gonna hop on over to the Mac view. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, I guess I didn't really have, hey, that's a different one. That's for the interviews. All right, I see how I screwed up the thing now. Like I said, always setting up on this stream, always testing things out. So the new fun thing we're gonna try here. If we pop on over, should get yeah, I've got do not disturb on. Oh, I should plug in the camera. Should plug in that so it doesn't die. And then make sure. Hey, Jason gave a gifted a tier 1. That went to Kersey. That's a old friend. What is up, Manny? Good to see Manny here. How are you doing? So first of all, and a wave, thank you so much for the follow. Wait, we got a hype train? Hold up. Freaking legends. I think Spiro kicked that off the tier 3. I haven't seen a level 2 hype train from 3 subs, but here we are. A gift sub. Freaking Manny Moki in the chat. Let's go. All right, we're getting things started here. I was just gonna make sure I close notes and certain things on my Mac so I don't get that doxed. Sweet. Yeah, cool. Okay, so here's what was happening, this is great because my stream's about to just be like a dedicated neovim configuration stream, which I'm not even against that much, for being honest. I'm a sucker for neovim. But there's more of a story behind that. Like, I have not succeeded in getting a good setup since I kind of began trying to do it on stream. So that's been the main issue. But first, just wrapped up your first day of work back from vacation, chilling and working an article. So when you say working an article, are you writing an article? All right. Dude, thank you all for the subs, by the way. Just awesome generosity to start off the new year. Really appreciate that. Rip sleeping pattern, need to move. Oh my gosh. I'm such a noob. All right. So here we got the Mac set up. I've got my chats up. Cool. So the fun tweak to the stream that we tried, and again, let me know if anything is awry with the audio, if anything is a little bit of the jank. It's certainly possible, and I might regret this, but new feature of the stream. All right. All right. Can you all hear the keyboard? Can you hear the clicky clacks? Might have to tweak the levels a bit. Yeah, And I definitely need to move the positioning a little bit to make sure I don't... Whoa. Make sure I don't punch the microphone, because that would be an issue. Nice. Would love to hear less keyboard and see more screen. Text is pretty small. That's really good feedback, actually. So yeah, we can tone the keyboard down a little bit. And this is something that I'm kind of experimenting with. This came up a couple weeks ago, mainly because... Oh, wait, is this resolution issue? No, I'm on 1080. Let's go to our kitty config. Oh my gosh. I thought I had tweaked this before, but let's see. Let's try changing this to maybe 21. All right. So for the terminal, there's a lot of stuff that I have not configured well about my this Mac. So this is a newer Mac. All right. 21, can you do something for me? How's this on the text size? We could bump this a little bit more. And then for like browser stuff, I'm assuming I'll just want to blow this up a little bit. So I am a Raycast user. That's what, actually no, okay. I've got Raycast here. I have it double bound with Alfred right now. So I've been an Alfred user for like 10 years. Oh, it's a Drake reference. Yeah, so I've used Alfred app, which is it's an alternative to Raycast. Also, I'm playing with this new Mac thing. Oh, one password will close. Might want to take the keyboard noises down a little bit. So Alfred is like Raycast for the last 15 years. Like Alfred first, when did it come out? Is there a Wikipedia thing? Alfred, no, that's definitely gonna give me people. Alfred software. Yeah, running with crayons. I really like the developer, and yeah, the initial release was 2010. So I got it. I might have been in beta actually. But yeah, I've been using this for over a decade, and it's really good. I think at this point, Raycast probably makes sense to switch to, and that's why I've installed Raycast. But there's a bunch of stuff that I just need to figure out how to set up with Raycast. So like, if I do find and then have, actually, I don't even know. Yeah, so if I do find in Vim, that pulled up a WoW folder. That's amazing. I made a WoW classic character called Invim. Like Kitty, it'll open that file in Finder, right? So it'll reveal where it is in Finder. Oh, see, this is the funny thing. I don't even have, yeah, so open Kitty would open it up. Again, because I reinstalled this computer fairly frequently. Whatever, I'm not going to update right now. Because I reinstalled this, I don't even have some of those keybinds changed like I did it with O. But I need to just learn how to do some of those things with Raycast. And I'm sure it's not hard. But that's why I rebounded, is just because I kept like muscle memory reaching for Alfred features, and it doesn't work in Raycast exactly the same way yet. But it is something on my list, and that's something that I'll probably be doing with the new year more, is get into Raycast, because there's definitely, like, even Alfred, they have workflows and things, but I didn't get super far into that. So like, since I didn't make intense use of their advanced features, I also feel better about converting to Raycast. But I've paid for Alfred, like I've paid for their license for years. Pretty simple to set up in Raycast, but it's not easy to automate from Alfred. Yeah, so that's like I just have to spend an afternoon sometime poking around Raycast config and you know, updating commands and keybinds and things to what I'm used to. So that shouldn't be too hard. Use React and TypeScript to build custom tooling and unlock themes to your. See, this sounds pretty sick. There are certain aspects of Raycast I'm really excited about, but the thing that I don't love still is that a lot of cool things seem to be in Pro, and I don't want to keep paying monthly fees for everything. Like, one of my goals of the new year is literally to cut down on monthly subscriptions. But yeah, Raycast in particular, so one of the things that's been missing from my workflow is using spaces better. And Raycast could help me with that. I know, like, I've already identified a couple features for my ideal workflow that Raycast would definitely be able to hit. The other weird thing, let's catch up on chat for a second. It took a while to switch from Alfred. Raycast is just better usability, I think. Yeah, at this point, I think that Raycast, like, I've been following it since last, like, summer was when it first came out. And initially, it was further from what I wanted, but they've built a lot. Like, it really, some of the clipboard history stuff got a lot better. The snippets, there's just a lot of things that I wanted, and now they're all in there. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm excited to use it and get used to it, but for now, I don't have that. There's the files from my video. I posted one of my first shorts. If anybody follows me on TikTok or Instagram, I'm now on all of the social networks. Trying to post more in the new year. What's up, Denzel? Good to see you. Raycast had quite a bit for free compared to Alfred and Hindsight. That would make sense too, and that's part of the issues. I'm coming from Alfred, where I paid for like the Power Pack license, so I had like, I mean, it wasn't lifetime upgrades because when they had major versions, there were still times where I had to relicense it at some points, but I paid one-time fees to use Alfred for years and was just kind of used to that setup and not paying monthly. And that's been great. But we need to fix up my dot files a bit because things are very much the jank. So this is the funny thing. So like all of my streams, if you watch my streams, you would think that I spend a bunch of time configuring stuff. But the thing that I do love is like my dot files in total, which my dot files are terrible. They're all over the place. But I did a bunch of dot file stuff in literally 2017, and then I didn't touch it for like years. I updated a couple things like 2018, 2019, but I had the same dot files for like 4 or 5 years, and it's just worked great. I think there might have been another repo, because I think I initially did all of my dot file setup like 8 years ago. But that's the funny thing is, like, I feel like that's how configs should be, is you don't really need to touch it for a long time. I touched it to update to neovim because I was using Vim previously, like 5 years ago. And the big thing is I want to swap over to using the lazy package manager. So I don't think I've pushed. That might be my issue here. My last neovim stream, for those who may have been following, yeah, seen from the work Mac. Yeah, I had a weird, like, I had a WSL.file config. I had my work Mac, and then I would like hacked some stuff on my work Mac last year, and I got out of sync. And I've been lazy with config stuff, but ooh, Denzel's got an example. Okay, I love that. I love bringing up a couple different examples, and just being able to reference what different people have. I'm assuming you're using lazy because I specifically mentioned lazy. You've got the namespace within Lua. Okay, this looks close to a... Oh, you're using Packer. Okay. This looks really similar to what I had before. And then... Oh, not too much in the after. Yeah, so this is pretty close to what I had before. Sleep tight. What's up, Denny? How are you doing, Denny? Good to see you here. Packer is deprecated, though. Yeah, exactly, Turk. So I'm updating to lazy, but lazy is very interesting. So we're gonna do some learning together. We're doing building in public, learning in public. I'm just gonna Google, not Packer. Actually, I already brought this up. What am I doing? So Lazy is an awesome package manager. There is this really nice GUI that they have, or TUI, and there's a lot of lazy loading. It does automatic lazy loading on events, commands, file types, key mappings, async execution, just a like host of great modern updates. It does require more modern neovims. Yeah, dude, I appreciate the lurk, Denny. Really appreciate that. Hope you have a wonderful sleep at 1 a.m. Yeah, my goodness. And Dylan coming in with the tier month. Dude, 6-month streak. Y'all, I have like the kindest freaking supporters in this stream for my cadence of streaming like once every other month. I'm pretty sure you kept the sub going through months I did not stream to be on a 6-month streak right now. But yeah, let's catch up on chat for a second. So yeah, Manny was hitting some things about Raycast with the file system search and everything. Plugin ecosystem is mostly free. Interesting that they have some unfree plugins. But yeah, so I really like Lazy, but it does have a totally different... Also, Denzel came across as a first-time chatter, but maybe I've only chatted with Denzel on other platforms. I feel like you've definitely chatted in this stream before, though. But thank you for the follow. Thank you, Denny, for the follow. And that hype train we got earlier, holy moly. Y'all are too generous with the new year. Yo, Denny, I've definitely done that. Actually, Denny, you just started streaming some more, didn't you? I think I saw you stream. I'm not following you, so you know what? We can be embarrassed together because we were both blowing it. And if you're not, check out Denny. We've been hanging out on Twitter Spaces for freaking years at this point. I think I met Denny in like my first getting into Twitter Spaces, which was, yeah, like literally 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago now. And what Turk is hitting on is part of what the issue I'm currently struggling with. So that's interesting. Packer Invim, is this a new swap in for that's old Packer. This is deprecated, right? Yeah, so this is the spiritual successor. Okay. So this is, yeah, work in progress. Main differences to Packer: heavily refactored block file support, no compilation. Sweet. So this looks like the successor. It's more of a spiritual successor. Functional but not as stable as Lazy Vim. Interesting. So yeah, the issue with Lazy, and I started with embarrassed. Started yesterday. Fantastic. Happy New Year. Yeah, stoked to see you streaming and doing some more content creation stuff, as well as your what is it, an agency, right? You're doing DevRel agency with, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna remember your co-founders' names right now, but also awesome Twitter friends. So that's been really cool to see you guys, and really like following that journey. Okay. Yeah, have a great night. On your tweet that kind of popped off, I'll have to find that tweet. But yeah, I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget it, actually, because I'm gonna do that later. I don't want to get sidetracked beyond my sidetracking that's already happening. I don't have a pen. How do I not have a pen here? That's like essential for ADHD. I need to write my random thoughts and garbage down. Sad. Okay. I'm gonna text myself. This is the other way I do quick reminders. I'm gonna text myself to look for Denny's tweet that popped off. Okay, so I started with Kickstart, and I actually really like Kickstart, but this is part of the issue I've had, is every time I get into config, I try to like re-grok everything about my config, and I try to come up with like the perfect config. So if you saw my little video that I posted for the new year, oh shoot, am I getting echo, by the way? I think my keyboard mic is picking up double. Frick. Yeah, I want a low pass filter for that, but even the low pass filter is not great. Up that threshold a little bit. Yeah, the audio setup might be a little janky here. The one on Witcher. Okay, I'll have to find that tweet. So, used to export my settings with Raycast, but they're just out of sync, so I'm lazy and couldn't keep up. Yeah, I've just been... Yeah. And a wave hit the nail on the head with you have to do a good chunk of config migrating from Packer. So that's what we're here to do today. I did Kickstart, and what happened was with Kickstart, it was great to go through it, and I wanted to actually learn about Kickstart. Hey, close to that 2K followers on X. That's huge, CBID. That's going to be a big milestone. We got to do a Twitter space or something to celebrate that. And Watu Sabi on YouTube, hello, Happy New Year, so good to see you. So the issue with trying to like grok a whole new thing while I'm redoing my config, I was learning lazy, I was learning Kickstart, and I do like Kickstart, and I think it's really significant for the ecosystem. Like I want that to recommend to anybody who's just getting into neovim. But the other thing is I have a decent amount of configuration in here. And so the issue with starting with Kickstart is I'm adding my configuration over Kickstart, and I wasn't super functional as long as I was in Kickstart because I was missing like very basic key maps. So I kept hitting a wall on just like simple stuff. But at the same time, I was trying to like not do Kickstart modularly, but doing it in a bit of a like, I wanted to be able to update Kickstart. So I was trying to keep all of my updates mostly out of the Kickstart file, which if you're not familiar with Kickstart, that's what I have right now. So we'll bring this up and then open, I think it's all just in here. Yeah, so this is all pretty vanilla Kickstart, and it's one long file. And the changes that I made, you can see some of them. So there's like, I added variables for my own telescope settings. So like I had settings for telescope. Hey, it's the dude that Annie hates. What's up, Standard Robot? So they have some telescope settings, and normally this is just, they just had this inside the require, and they're running it with their standard settings. But I already had a bunch of mine, so I went and got, oh gosh. See, this is what I mean. I don't even have my search files. I don't even have my keybind set up, so I'm like hitting walls here just trying to use neovim. So if we go to, I did it as a like config. Is that the right one? Yeah. So I made my own file here where I put in all of my telescope settings, and then I have, you know, this variable where I require my settings, and then I do a table extend. So I'm basically merging my settings in with the defaults that they have in Kickstart, and then passing that in. I did this somewhere else where I just like imported for some of my custom key maps and settings, and it got weird because I was fighting Kickstart, which Kickstart is really made for somebody who doesn't have a config and for you to like just directly edit this file. So I was already fighting two things about Kickstart where it's like not exactly perfect for me and my background, just because I had already built out this very like plugin based, you know, different Lua files. Like base has a bunch of my options. Most of this was copied from like Primogen and some other people from my Twitch chat from last year. So like I try to put credit in when I use things from other people's configs. But these are my settings. This is my big telescope keybind, which even some of this stuff, like I was having issues with this and lazy. So we're going to fight it a little bit today. We're going to wrestle it and see what happens. Oh, what's up? That's neovim. Yes, this is Ahmed. Ahmed actually just released. Ahmed, what's your shoot. can you link your YouTube in chat? Ahmed just posted his first YouTube video today. I don't want to show my algorithm. My YouTube is all over the place. But yeah, get a link in the chat. I want to shout that out because literally today, and I think it should be done processing now, Ahmed posted his first YouTube video, which is about VS Code. And that totally, if you're not a psychopath like me using neovim, I think that's a great option. I really like VS Code. I think it works. It does the things well. It's definitely the best. Like, I came from Sublime Text before, and then Atom, which Atom was good, but I've got a lot of respect and love for VS Code. I think it's a great editor. I used it at one job that I was at for a few months because everybody on the team used it, and I was just like, this is, it's just an editor. An editor's an editor. I can write code and edit text and pretty much anything, so let's, if I'm working on a team that's all using VS Code stuff, I can easily set that up and configure it. Thank you, Denny. I appreciate that. Show us your logo. Yes, so there's the link for Ahmed's YouTube. And let's... Welcome, I'm Speedy Alex, by the way. Seems like you came in from Denny's post, so thank you for coming in. Great to see you. Thank you for the follow. And thank you, Ziforner, for the follow. Great to see you here. We've chatted a bit on the Twitters, but appreciate that. Great to see you around. It's One Eye. There we go.
Hello, everyone.
Configuring VS Code the next level. I'm going to go ahead and download and like and help out with the algo really quick, although I haven't had time to watch it just yet, but I will definitely be watching this tonight. By the way, is there a bit, and Lois over on the YouTube, so good to see you, Lois. Videos mostly about neovim inside of VS Code. Hey, look at that. So even if you're in a neovim, more of a neovim user, that's going to be cool to talk about the neovim motions, which that is a big thing. Like, I do think so much of the benefit of neovim is just from neovim motions. This looks super slick, by the way. I really do love your VS Code look and feel here. Kind of crushed it. It's looking fantastic. But yeah, a lot of the benefit of Vim, in my opinion, is the bimodal editor setup. And so using Vim motions inside of VS Code, you can get a lot of that benefit. And there's, it's actually actual neovim inside VS Code. Wait, that's very interesting. Okay, now I'm even more excited to check out the video because I'm curious. So are you running it in a terminal? Like you have a neovim or a VS Code with a terminal open and then neovim inside of that terminal? Because that's wild. I've just seen the neovim VS Code motions plugin. That's what I'm used to when people are doing neovim motions inside. VS Code neovim extension. Oh, so it's like actually running the neovim binary? Regardless, y'all should go and watch that YouTube video, download it, like it, throw in a comment, just to help out with the algo there. Because yeah, Ahmed had some great blog posts last year. I learned a lot from your blog posts on monorepos. And so really excited to see the YouTube channel spinning up and you doing some of that neovim hijacks VS Code editing. So it's like using neovim in like a headless or server mode to drive the editing interface of VS Code? Fully embedded neovim instance. VS Code's native functionality is used for insert mode and editor commands, making the best of both editors. That's very interesting. Yeah, it's utilizing neovim as a backend. Wild. Okay. This is even closer. Yeah, it's pretty bleeding edge because they're requiring 0.9 or higher. That's super cool. Yeah, so you can install neovim plugins. That makes sense. That's pretty baller. Okay. This is even better. Mashifon, great to see you. I think Jury from NX uses something similar. Dude, Yuri from NX is super smart. I love his videos. I was doing monorepo research at my last job, so I spent a lot of time on the NX YouTube channel, and Yuri's crushing it over there. Last I saw. Yeah, that's Yuri.
So this is gonna be
NX versus Angular CLI. Ooh, that's a wild. That's an interesting topic. Because the NX guys all came out of Google, I believe. I believe NX started as ex-Googlers recreating Blazor. Oh, he's using the Vim emulator. Okay. Happy New Year, Abdi. Great to see you. To move to neovim, yeah. Yeah, so let's focus up a bit. So I tried moving my config. I tried like re-tacking my config on top of Kickstart previously. That didn't work super great, but it did get me more into the mentality of not Packer, but lazy. And lazy is, you know, somebody mentioned the API changes with lazy, and it is very different. So at the beginning, and we might start working through this from a very simple one. So first off, my Git stuff is all borked. Do I really not have... DS store get ignored? There we go. Yeah, so this is like, oh yeah, I even have my backup config in here. Whatever, I'm just gonna add this so I don't have to worry about it. All right, now I made that get ignore commit there, whatever. My branch is ahead of origin master by 2 commits. So this is where I think I might want to reset hard. Yeah, because let's check the log. 2 commits. Yeah, those top are the 2 kickstart ones. So I'm just gonna check out back to here. That's not what I wanted to do. Reset hard. We're doing it. Yep. We're definitely breaking things, y'all. But now this should be... Oh, why is my binaries... This is because I installed OrbStack for Docker stuff, which ironically I don't even need. So I don't want to... I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that is very loud. Some people actually enjoy banging their heads on Lua configs. I'm one of those people. I enjoy Lua, and yeah. Can y'all hear the... I mean, I have the window open, so I have some airflow in here because we got that CO2 monitor going. All right, so now we should be at our head. So if I do... Yeah, so this is all up to date with head. No, not what I wanted to do. Holy. Oh no, now I like broke everything. Oh, this is so sick. I've just obliterated my neovim config. This is wonderful. I'm in such a good state. Let's catch up on chat for a second because I definitely missed some of this. Ooh, the ESLint mono repo setups. Yo, I am really excited for that. I was cheating constantly using VS Code and got hooked with neovim. Yeah, I love the motions. Cheesy, yes, I've got the suit on. Always dress for work. That's what I say. Try Astra and Vim. I've tried Astra and Vim. I've tried Lazy and Vim, like not the Lazy package manager, but the Lazy distro. I mean, I won't bang my head against Lua configs for hours regardless because I have most of the stuff. I've spent that time banging my head against things. I need to figure out some new API stuff. And we've got a Dyson purifier as well. I don't think that monitors CO2 though, but maybe I'm wrong. I know it's got a couple different things it monitors. But yeah, we just shattered the heck out of my neovim config. So now I have a extremely incapable neovim. So this will be fun to figure out. How much do I want to bother with this? I think I'm just gonna make the jump here. All right. So this is all busted because Packer's not installed. Changing a read-only file. Wait, what? Wait, why would it be read-only? I don't need to... Did I chmod my init.lua at some point? What in the world? What was I doing? My dot files are so borked. This is going to be fantastic. Yeah, good time to move to Lazy as the package manager. That's exactly what we're going to do. All right. That's hilarious. No. That's such a weird... I don't know when that got chmodded. Okay, so now... Nope. Still changing a read-only file. Is this because my neovim is so borked? So this is where my neovim config is pointed in the correct place. I'm definitely having fun. Is it IO issues because of the fact that Packer's not installed? So here's one way is we can just literally get rid of the init.lua. Then we have to remove the Packer compiled. So I think it's just Packer compiled, yeah. So this will get rid of that error, if I can spell it correctly. So we're just gonna chuck Packer out the window. I don't think I need that plugin directory actually. RMRF with typos, we're bound to do something good. This is going great. All right, so I went ahead and just nuked some of that existing config. Now, error detected while processing. Okay. The way we're going to do this is we're going to move after to after back. So now, okay, we finally got a blank, totally blank, empty neovim setup. Actual me when we started about a year ago. Yeah, I'm nuking it out and starting from scratch pretty much. Like I've moved a bunch of stuff to yeah, Croucher, I definitely thought about fixing it with VS Code, but not doing that. Do I even have VS Code on this machine? Nope. Never installed VS Code on this machine. All right. This is exactly what we're doing. So we're nuking the whole folder. Making a new neovim folder, and here we're just going to start from scratch. So, first of all, we bootstrap lazy with this. Oh, I don't have clipboard stuff. All right, whatever. We can just copy paste in insert mode. Next step is to add lazy below the code add in the prior step in init.lua. And this is the bit where the API is different. Holy, yeah, I'm definitely not feeling great. I think I got a cold, y'all. This is not the best way to start the new year, but we were traveling for like 2 weeks and hanging out with a bunch of family over the last 2 weeks, and I got terrible sleep because we have a freaking 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and oh boy, that's been fun. Still saying, hasn't gotten to the .files.old point yet. That's basically what I just did. What are those switches? They sound awesome. These are Kale, not Kale, Zeal switches. My favorite switches. I can't touch anything else at this point. And they are, I think, Xylent V2s. Oh, goodness gracious, that's not good. Everything's bad. This is catastrophic. Yeah. Knock the tea off. Oh, no. Yeah,
Not the Game Boy toy!
I think I bricked our daughter's Game Boy.
You're gonna finish it?
Whatever's left.
That's disgusting.
Dude, that was so bad. The tea that's in the mug didn't go on the floor. The tea that's no longer in the mug. What do you mean? That was so bad. Oh my god. If y'all thought the stream couldn't get worse, got a freaking lake of tea now. What in the world? Oh. Things are going great. This is wonderful. Everything's excellent. Oh no, it's everywhere. Ah! I don't know what this sounds like. I don't know what's happening. What?
Water on in the sink if my dishwashing gloves are in the sink. You are now responsible for doing dishes until you buy me a new pair of dishwashing gloves. Enjoy! Also, I love you.
There's too much right now. Why would you? Leaf-soaked water. That's what tea is, quite literally. No chocolate. Oh my gosh. There's ever a time to do a freaking ad break. I mean, I left it on Zeal, so I guess this is... Okay, I got up... Oh my gosh. Gotta drop the suit. It's chaotic. Dude, I've been the most scuffed streamer forever. Okay, so I'm feeling sick, so I needed tissues because my nose is about to start running. Went to get a box of tissues. took off my headset, tripped over my headset wire. Yo, this was a... I actually Rube Goldberg'd the shit out of myself. That was so bad. I need to take a picture of what just happened. So I'm a cool streamer guy that's gonna mic my keyboard, right? So I have a second mic arm that's coming out. It's a low profile Elgato arm to mic the keyboard. The headphone wire is on the other side of that mic arm. So when I tripped over my headphones, it yoinked that mic arm that's coming across the desk, and the T was on a coaster to the left of that mic arm. So the mic arm swung and frickin' clotheslined my mug with all my tea in it. Dumped that everywhere. Y'all heard that commotion. And I spilled tea all over my daughter's Game Boy. Which I can't find. I think my wife took it, but it's not a real Game Boy. It's just a Play School Game Boy thing that makes sounds. Oh my gosh. If I wasn't already distracted enough. Collateral damage, yeah. Oh boy. Alright, we're doing great. Spiro, heard that in the background. Thanks for the lurk, Spiro, by the way. Really appreciate that. Oh my gosh. So we were at Giannis asking me about the switches. I love Zeal switches. Actually, now I'm forgetting when I ordered these. I don't think they're the Xylants, actually. I think the Silent Tactiles is what I want to get next. But I think these are just Zelio. Yes, these are the switches I have. 62 gram. They're really nice. They're not the most silent. I'm curious about the Tactile Silent, which is the next upgrade that I want to get. But before I do that, and then what was the crystal? I don't think I want the crystal because, no, wait. That's the lightest. I think crystal's the other one that I was looking at. Because they've got the 60 gram bottom out weight. Fully clear for maximum RGB. I mean, I don't really care about the RGB, but add stability to the stem while also making it more lube friendly. So this was... I think I might want to try the Silent Tactile though to see what those feel like. But yeah, I have the Zelio's V2s. These switches are awesome. You have Black Ink V2s. Dude, I'm gonna ruin something with this. Ooh, are they box? Oh, that 60 gram actuation. See, that's the biggest thing with my switches. I just realized I need extremely low actuation. I was using Glorious Pandas for a while, and I really like the switches in general. They're fantastic. I got the lubed ones. They're super nice. But the 67 gram spring, like I literally feel that weight even though it's so minimal. I definitely feel that extra 5 grams of actuation weight. So I want to get down to 60. So Gatorins would be, I forget if it's actuation or bottom. What is it over here? I think it's bottom out. So yeah, so these would be less weight than the Gatorons. Anyways, enough about switches. The thing I'm going to do with these, though, before I try a different set of switches, is I really like the... I got a lube station from Glorious, and I'm going to actually manually lube all of these switches. And I'm really pumped for that. That's going to be a fun time. But yeah, where were we at on borking our neovim config? So we add this example using a list of specs, the default options. Okay, so here's where they're doing the table of plugins. So this is what a plugin spec looks like. So initially, I think I want NeoDev, because this is just like dev tools. Wait, neovim setup for init.luga and plugin development with full signature help. Yeah, so this is just helps with neovim Lua API. Automatically configures Lua language server. There's some nice stuff. So we're gonna put this in here as an initial. Oh, those are Denzel's files. Still wanna keep a look at that. So we gotta put this in. I muted the keyboard mic. Were y'all getting any? It seems that my voice is triggering the keyboard mic. I don't know if y'all are hearing that as a separate. Probably have to mess with the placement a bit more. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna mute it and just try to point it away from. Point it more directly away from my voice. I think the front of it should be the top of it is like the main where it's picking stuff up. But I think there is a chance that the front of it is a little more sensitive. So I'm gonna face that away from me. And this was like the main thing I thought I was going to do in the setup stream is monkeying with this extra mic setup that I got going here, because this is pretty fun. I'm kind of excited for the clack. And this should be more out of the way now. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Threshold needs to be a little bit higher. We'll see how this works. But yeah, if the keyboard mic is bothering, that's fine. Good luck with that. You think it's fun? I spent 8 hours on mine and was so done after. You're 8 hours after mic placement or 8 hours of neovim config? Okay, wait, this is my init.lua. I don't want that. This is a test. I do want this. But we're going to have a basic I'm gonna start with just this because I don't think it should trigger anything. Check health lazy, get installed, no existing packages. All right, so it looks like I got lazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, so we got lazy installed. So we'll start there. So there's this plugin spec, right? So let's read about this a bit. This is where the API is very different than what I was doing with Packer. So the plugin spec has, is this their docs for it? Interesting. So there's a table, and a table in Lua is kind of like a dictionary or an associative array, and every entry in the table is a plugin. And so if you just want it to install a plugin, you can just put the plugins, you know, what comes at the end of the GitHub URL. And that's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Did I do the... This is the bootstrapping. Oh, okay. This is where they have the setting the leader. Okay, so now we're gonna pull up my old config and start installing a couple things. Oh, the switch lubing was 8 hours. That makes sense. No, I'm definitely planning on doing the switch lubing on stream. That's gonna be a fun little random stream. I always do non-coding streams, but sometimes I have fun with that. So I'll definitely do a stream where I'm just gonna get the whole like lube station set up and just sit there and chill and lube switches for a bit. Oh, the other thing that I was thinking of, man, ADHD's popping off today. I saw that Prime on his stream, he was redoing his neovim config, and we were like driving back and road tripping with family and stuff, so I haven't been able to watch his stream, or this morning was just hectic. So I haven't seen that, but I want to go back to the VODs and maybe check out his dot files to see what Prime's doing, because previously my neovim was almost entirely taken from Prime's setup. So this is where I got creative and like made a bunch of fancy keybind functions in Lua. Yeah, that's fun. But I'm going to start by dropping some of these in. Recently got a Digma Define. I want to show it some love. It's Kale Silent Browns. Silent Browns are nice. So I had Kale Browns. My switch progression was Kale Browns to Kale Purple Pros. It was Cherry MX Browns, then Kale Browns, then Kale Purple Pros. And I loved those. And then I went to Glorious Pandas and then Zeals. But I do need to do more actual... I need to do more keyboard builds. I want to build a couple new ones. I've just, like, I found a really good build and I've just stuck with that forever. But anyways, let's get back into it. So, the odd thing about Lazy compared to Packer is everything's within this config spec. And what you end up doing is for simple plugins, so let's find something easy from mine as an example. I almost did Mason as the simple. Let's find like one of the most plain. Color system. Let's get Tokyo Dark. So this is the plugin that we want to install. It's Tokyo Dark. I'm going to put this in quotes. See, there's my muscle memory kicking in. So now, if we do this, it's installing Tokyo Dark. So that gave us a theme. And as you can see, the nice thing about Lazy... Actually, I don't really know how to use the TUI because there we go. Update, sync, clean. Yeah, so this whole TUI is pretty nice. The help doesn't look great. I don't know. Interesting. I should... Oh, there we go. There's the help. Yeah, so I should learn a bit more about how to use the TUI, but honestly, it's a really nice TUI. I like what they have there. So to install a basic thing, a basic plugin, we can put that in. But what about something like Harpoon? So Harpoon requires plenary. Let's go ahead and make sure that we have plenary installed. Actually, no, we're not going to ensure that we have it installed because we want to do it as it requires from Harpoon. Is Harpoon the first thing I want to... Let's do Telescope. I'm going to configure Telescope first. So, if we want to do Telescope, that has a requires directive. And if we look at the plugin spec, I believe there should be... requires... Okay, interesting. Requires isn't even, that's a different API too. Dependencies. Is that what I'm looking for? A list of plugin names or plugin specs that should be loaded when the plugin loads. Dependencies are always lazy loaded unless specified otherwise. When specifying a name, make sure the plugin spec has been defined somewhere else. So since it needs a spec, yeah, you're right, it's dependencies. So first of all, we want to change this entry to a dictionary. So similar to what you see here, we have a dictionary with a string, and then we can add some of the options. So if we add an option, so I'm going to test this by just doing dependencies equals a list of plugin names. So Does that look right? Error detected. Unexpected symbol. Did I do a Lua list incorrectly? Yeah, it's the curly boys. Full plenary string. Oh, yeah. Right. I just wrote plenary. So you can tell my brain is definitely not working well. I'm gonna have to get a lot of sleep tonight because I feel like a cold is kicking in. I mean, y'all saw that code literally ruin my freaking tea. Oh man, I was enjoying that tea too. That's very sad. Okay. So this should work for dependencies. Yep, now it's installing plenary and telescope. Fantastic. Love that. You love to see it. So, there's a couple interesting things here. The first one is, so let's like, okay, name is a custom name. I don't know like a good plugin to reference for my old config. I was about to go to LSP, but that's probably, I mean, that's complex. Maybe that's good. So for example, which this was kind of a borked part of my config before, but when you have things like Mason, there's a couple different things you want to do. You know, you want to do Mason, you want to do Mason LSP config, and then attaching. So this is logic to actually attach the handlers so that it doesn't activate for every file. It activates for when you open up a file of the correct type. But we just have this dictionary with lazy. So with lazy, everything has to happen within a data structure, essentially. It's a little more declarative way of doing configuration, which I think I like. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So the way that you would do it is there's an init function that you have. So if I wanted, so we can break this one. Break this down a little bit. Gosh, not having my keybinds is so wonky. All right, so like here's the dictionary that we're looking at. Apologies for the 8 space tabs. That's just default neovim. So if we wanted, we could do init equals fun. It's end for functions, right? Fun end. I'm not going crazy. Been setting it for some plugins. Lazy really cares about the event attributes to tell it when to load the plugin. Interesting, and we'll get to that. I assume the default behavior, because I haven't heard anybody talk about that, I assume the default behavior is top to bottom in the dictionary. Well, no, they're probably doing a tree, now that I think about it. Happy New Year, Platt, over on YouTube. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. It's function. Perhaps this means startup of that plugin, which would make sense. So I don't know. But that's not even the one. Yeah, so config is the one that I've seen, and I think I want to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this. So shout out, by the way, I don't even know if he streams, but Typecraft over on YouTube. Does he have a Twitch? So Typecraft is a YouTuber. Follow him on Twitter as well. Really cool dude that has some awesome neovim videos. And he started doing this free neovim course. I don't know why this is. Yeah, so he did this course. So he's got 4 episodes now. 5 episodes now. Wait, I didn't even see this one. Autocomplete and snippets.
In this video,
but he's doing a full lazy config from setup. And so I'm going to pull his config up. This is the other one I was going to reference, because watching the first few videos there kind of gave me a sense for why I was struggling so much with Kickstarter and melding my Packer config. The big thing for me, though, was definitely seeing this config function. So this config is executed when the plugin loads. The default implementation will automatically run require main.setup ops. So this is the really interesting thing, is if you use this correctly, and I think the way he showed it in the video, I don't actually know if he needs, like he's doing manual setup functions in places that I think technically this convention would automatically be running the setup functions for each plugin. So Lazy uses several heuristics to determine the plugin's main module automatically based on the plugin's name. See also ops. To use the default implementation without ops, set config to true. So that would by default just run require.setup, I guess, without any options. If you just did config equals true instead of a function. But yeah, config is what we're talking about, and I'll show you on, yeah, I don't think he has a Twitch.
In this
So I was gonna check his socials here. Dude, my head feels terrible. I'm like progressively getting more stuffed up. Yeah, I think he's just on YouTube, but awesome YouTuber. Definitely suggest. Great, I'm doing that thing again where I don't have a Twitch chat on this computer, so I have to go to the other computer. Yeah, so there's his YouTube link. So definitely recommend everybody checking out Typecraft, giving him a follow, checking out these videos. Like I said, I haven't even finished all of the videos on this new course, but I saw what he was doing, and it was... Is this it? Yeah, so I saw what he was doing, and it gave me enough in my head to be like, okay, I could adapt my config to Lazy by following this same set of operations. Does he have branches? Because he did a couple extra things. No. Yeah, see, he's actively developing this. So, I want to browse files at this point in history. So this is where he just had a very basic init require vim options, which is one Lua file that he has with his defaults. This is fantastic because this is sort of what I have in my existing setup. And then he has a plugins folder. I don't know why. I don't think that one's necessary, but I forget now. So this is the other cool thing about Lazy, is that if you have, you know, it loads stuff out of the Lua folder. Maybe it was you need this file. Maybe this file is what forces it to then load everything in this folder, but this all gets auto-included. And so this becomes where you now do, that's a complicated one. We're not going to start there. So for Tree Sitter, for instance, this is where you return. So each of these plugin files needs to return a dictionary for Lazy. So this whole spec that we're reading for the plugin specs, sorry, so it's a dictionary that represents the plugin spec. Yeah, it's this table thing. So everything is it's one of these actually. Everything is one of these dictionaries of a plugin spec. So by configuring it the way he set it up, everything in, that's Denzel's. We'll look at yours for some specific bits and pieces. But every one of these plugin files is going to be yoinked in as this dictionary essentially, and added into the Lazy config. So I really like this pattern. I like when I saw how he set it up, I just knew like, I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna use that as the baseline. So here's an example of the config function. And if I finish his videos and I go to like the latest head, I'm sure he's changed some of this, but I don't necessarily, like I can tweak things later. I wanna start with a simple setup because I know I can just start adding in my plugins and get my config ported over to Lazy. So let's start there with as our number one goal. Somebody's car alarm's going off. I can close that window too at this point. Thought I was gonna sneeze, but I didn't sneeze. All right. But yeah, so let's start copying. This fella does amazing neovim videos as well. Highly recommend if you want to get into depth. All right, now I'm gonna do one of the psychopathic things because I'm working across computers, which I do want to. Gosh, somebody tweeted about that recently. There's a utility for sharing virtual KVM, so sharing mouse and keyboard across multiple computers. I really need to get that set up because right now I'm using a physical KVM and it's kind of a pain in the butt. Because I do stuff like this. So you posted a link in Twitch chat, and I'm about to manually type it in. All right. This video isn't available anymore. Did I screw it up? Interesting. I'll click it over on... Okay, Vero. Yeah, I'll subscribe him and add this to my watch later. Good call out. I love seeing new neovim YouTubers. And this was November 13th, 2023. So this is a pretty recent series. Awesome. Yeah, there's so many aspects of my setup that are so scuffed. The other thing... Oh, and Spiro shouted me out over on his stream. That's awesome. Thank you, Spiro. So... Completely lost my train of thought. But we're doing more setup stream stuff. So I've got some basic setup with lazy at this point, but let's adapt this to look closer to what he's doing, what Typecraft is doing. So the init.lua, this should be the exact same bootstrapping that we have. It's a little different. No, yeah. It's got the lazy path. He prepends that. We've got our leader here. He doesn't have the leader yet, but we'll go ahead and add require. I'm going to do base just because that's what I generally call this. And then there's the require lazy.setup, and he does lazy.setup with plugins. So I'm going to first start with make dir Lua. So we've got to create Lua directory. And then here we're going to touch base.lua and make dir plugins and touch plugins.lua. So require based. It's not a bad idea either. Welcome back, Standard Robot. So if we look at, so now the init.lua should be referencing, it should be pulling in base. I don't think I want to have it reference plugins yet because I'm going to move the plugin definitions when I do that. Airwell created. What did I screw up? Okay, it was that empty function I wasn't using anyways. But yeah, so we've got Tokyo Dark, we've got Telescope. Yep, so we've got those plugins working. Now I added in base, and what we're going to do there is we're going to grab my, not an LSP. Dude, my nose is like exploding. I actually feel so sick. Okay, cool. So I had some weird Vim changes on the Tokyo Dark scheme, I guess. I don't even know what this is. I don't know if we need them, but let's see if that gives me a transparent background. Cannot find color scheme Tokyo Dark. That makes sense because of the order of operations, I guess. because I'm requiring base here before setting up lazy. So maybe that's not the best. Hey, what's up, John Codes? How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you in the stream. We are just fighting for our lives in neovim. It's another one of those streams. I'm completely moving my existing configuration, which I had a bunch of stuff I built up over years, from Packer to lazy. So this is mostly a learning lazy stream, as well as moving things over. I did like create half of my neovim config on a recent stream by taking TJ's kickstart and starting to tack my config on top of that. But I was also like having to do some weird stuff with kickstart because I was trying to preserve the kickstart init.lua file so I could update later to new versions of kickstart. And doing that wasn't trivial, and I had to like do some funky stuff myself because I wanted to make separate files to basically return tables that I would then merge in with the tables inside of kickstart. So it's interesting. I'm curious to actually talk with TJ at some point because I might want to make a fork and demonstrate what I was doing. And if I learn Lua a little bit better, I'm sure there's ways I could do it where it's resilient, where it's like checking for files first. But it would be interesting to like put configurations for kickstart extension into kickstart. So basically kickstart would look for files with specific names, and when it's doing the configuration and setup of all of the different plugins, so like Telescope for instance, Kickstart bootstraps Telescope, it would look for your own Telescope settings. Oh, John just read his. Yes, I love having references. We've already got Denzil's up here as a reference. jpmcb/mm. Oh my gosh. Sorry about the sneeze. Alright. One of my New Year's things is that I'm streaming more. So today I'm streaming, and that's a win because I'm doing work on my objective. But it is not a high quality stream, my goodness. Holy. But that is all right. Thank you so much if you're hanging out. We got 11 viewers, which is pretty dope, especially for something like this. I'm so sorry. I'm just like, y'all have literally watched a cold like hit me during stream, because I told my wife like an hour before I started streaming, I was like, you know, my nose keeps running. I woke up with a sore throat today, feeling a little bit off. So I made tea, which I promptly punched off of the desk, which was pretty epic. I actually have some cold medication here too. But yeah, so I feel like this stream y'all have been watching a cold hit me in real time because my nose has gotten progressively more runny and stuffed simultaneously, as they do when you have a cold. And my goodness, my throat feels terrible because I keep sneezing these like throat ravaging sneezes. Y'all have maybe heard one or two there. Okay, so let's take a quick look at John. John's config here. He said the readme's out of date, so we're not going to do that. All-in-one pure Lua. Yeah, okay, we're not going to read the readme because that's out of date. He starts with basic set of requires, LSP options, plugins, remaps. I like that order. I do think I'm going to note what happened. I'm just breaking everything. What was ordered? Remaps was last. Oh, what is happening in my brain right now? There's a cold symptom of my brain just slowly melting out through my nose, so I no longer have even the most basic capabilities for cognition. So options, plugins, remaps. I think this order makes sense because I was hitting that issue with my, which I can actually just fix this easier by just moving base down here. So this will screw up. This will screw up. No, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything weird here, so this is fine. Yeah, so now this is loading in after Tokyo Dark has definitely been installed and configured. And I like that from John's. Which again, his init, this is beautiful. I love this. Chef's kiss, wonderful init, John. Very simple. You do the map leader, which if you don't know with neovim, you just have to do this before like anything else in your config. So this is always what comes first. I have that after bootstrapping lazy, so I'll be curious to see where he's doing this bit. But this always has to come first. Then he has require LSP, require options, require plugins, require remaps. So he's got a lazy lock. I love that. See, there's a couple cool features to lazy that I really like. But let's find where he actually has lazy. So LSP is the first thing being brought in. I am kind of excited to go over people's bindings because it's one of the things that I love about working on my config is looking at other people's examples for keybinds, because I've never felt like my keybinds are super good, and I know there's also functions and features of a lot of these plugins that I'm just not using. I really like the options. I can already see he's got a lot of the same options as me. Yeah, these are essential. Okay, so options, plugins, remaps. That's what I had, right? Options, plugins, remaps. It just makes sense. So that way you ensure that all of the plugins are installed before you... What is back in Arc? So you make sure that you get all of your plugins installed before you were doing this. So I guess the interesting thing is, since lazy bootstrapping doesn't need to happen, when you're just setting options in neovim, you don't need lazy. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Okay, so he's got a plugins file, which is just where the actual bootstrapping of the plugin manager happens. That's what we have right here. This is the basic copied straight from the README of lazy for how to bootstrap lazy. I can feel my brain slowing down. I hope my words are making sense. But require lazy setup. He's got all of his plugins just in here. Now I kind of like this convention too, because if you remember from the lazy README, they show, where is it at? Way up the top here. In the example, you can see just using a simple string as a plugin spec would work. If you don't have any configuration, you don't want to change any options for a plugin, you can just use a string here. But John is using a dictionary that is just a string. How did I like totally lose where I was? Yeah. So even these simple plugins where it is just the name of the plugin, there's no configuration, still putting in a dictionary just to keep the data structure consistent. I think how I have Style Lua kept getting mad at me for just a solo stream. Interesting. And that's something we'll have to get set up. Okay, but generally speaking, I really like this. So we're kind of code reviewing John's config at this point. I don't want to get too sidetracked because I was looking at Typecraft's architecture. Plugin is the important thing there. So what is he doing? Okay, no, this is... I have no idea how that's coming in, actually. So FT plugin. This folder, I believe, is auto-loaded by lazy based on file types. Perhaps John can help me out if that's not the case. But I'm pretty sure this whole folder gets auto-loaded, so like lua.lua this configuration is loaded in anytime you open something with a Lua file type. NVim knows about a config path plugin directory. So that's where plugin is going to play. Well, yeah, because the lazy stuff is generally put in Lua, which you do see here. That's what gives us such a nice clean init. So the actual plugin configuration that's happening, sorry for jumping around so much for anybody watching, but I'm just grokking this real quick because it helps me think through, and I'm hoping that the rubber ducking I'm doing is somewhat helpful to anybody trying to learn this. So this plugins.lua file installs all of the plugins that he wants, except for potentially, we'll have to look at this, there are plugins that require more. No, so we've got Mason and we've got Mason LSP config, but again, he's just listing simply the names of the files. Fidget, he's got a configuration here. This is the interesting thing. I think you could replace this with config equals true. This is the pattern that I was seeing in Typecraft's videos. And the way I'm reading Lazy's documentation, I think for anytime you do this, where you just are doing a require.setup, you could change the whole function out for true, and it would automatically do that. Because this is one of the features of Lazy that, like, once that clicked for me, I was like, oh, that's really nice. That actually is a cool little DX thing they added in there. Goodness. Okay, the default implementation will automatically run require main.setup ops. Uses several heuristics to determine the plugin's main module automatically based on the plugin's name. So that's the part that's a little weird, I guess, is you're kind of trusting Lazy to, like, parse and intelligently figure out. I'd be curious to see what that code looks like. But here, to use the default implementation without ops, set config to true. So this would be, yeah, Fidget. So you probably have this because the name, like the spec name, doesn't match this exactly, but that's the part that even Lazy apparently tries to guess, which is interesting. Since you're not passing any options to the setup, I think you could replace this in your config with a true, and it would still work. I should submit a pull request because I'm actually curious about my hypothesis. That would be a fun thing. I know John is a fan of open source, so he could do some open source work here and throw a pull request over the fence. I think I dropped it in there since I didn't feel like having a one-line config file under plugin. Yeah, so what you're referencing there is, I think, what... Yeah, FT plugin gets auto-loaded. So these are just neovim behaviors. This is independent of Lazy. The Lua folder is needed because Lua will look there first for the names of things if it makes sense. Okay. I thought the Lua folder was a Lazy thing. I thought Lazy defined the conventions for this. But anyways, or at least Lazy is just by default, that's where it looks for any requires. That makes sense. So if there's any configuration that John wants to do for a specific plugin, such as LSP config, he has this plugin directory, which is automatically pulled in by neovim. So each of these is going to be pulled in, and you'll notice this is not where LSP config is being installed, because that, I believe, is happening over here. Wait, what was it? Yeah, so NVim LSP config, Mason LSP config, they're being installed because of this file that's being pulled in and executed by Lazy. So here's the stuff that he's doing to configure this. I'm curious about loading order now, though, because that means that plugins has run, which means the whole init.lua has run before the plugins directory. Let's actually just ask ChatGPT this. Let's see if ChatGPT can give me a nice quick answer. This is another thing that I'm trying to do in the new year, and I know it's kind of weird, but I'm trying to actually intelligently use AI a little more in my workflow. I haven't been the biggest AI adopter, but I do have GPT-4, so I might as well use it more than I have been. Now I'm gonna guess the wrong account and get stuck. Dude, I have hit literal infinite loops in OpenAI's website. They have some actual bugs with ChatGPT. It was super weird because I couldn't replicate it either. But like I got stuck in a permanent... Yeah, see, I'm freaking logged into the wrong thing because it says upgrade plan. I can't load my history and there's no log out button. Okay, so the bug's still there. So if you auth with the wrong account, which I can't remember which Google account I used for OpenAI, then you can get stuck in an unrecoverable loop. I can't believe I hit this again. Okay, so I guess it is reproducible. If I go back to the OpenAI website and I hit login, I still get to pick 2. Now I have a login or get started. If I press login, I think I'm stuck again. So continue with Google, try a different account. Now I don't have an upgrade message. New chat. No history. Refresh. What did they write this in? What is ChatGPT web written in? But what model are you? It's bricked. Yo, I literally bricked ChatGPT. How? Friggin', I'm gonna use AI more in the new year. Instantly bricks GPT-4. What's going on? So this is what I've gotten before. I have nothing in my sidebar. Saying anything, I just get an error. I can regenerate, but regenerating does nothing but refreshes the error. I can close the sidebar, but I can't see my name, so it didn't load my account thing, and I can't log out. So I bricked ChatGPT. Say I'm gonna use the thing more. Permanently broken for me. What are the odds, dude? Alright, be right back in 1 second. Hello. I like how I unmuted my mic to burp into it. What is up, Olavo? I am a ChatGPT engineer. No, not the DMs. I was gonna say, what are the odds I forgot to change the... All right, so over here on Twitter world, common streamer W, doxing my DMs immediately. All right, I don't know if there's a better caption for this, but I just thought this was ironic. Decided to tweet it. Definitely the best idea. Dude, there hasn't been a stream yet that I've like gone on YouTube and like hidden it or made it private or whatever, but I think this stream I'm definitely going to because this feels like a train wreck. Oh gosh. All right. So now that we looked through John's config, I feel like I've got a good handle over this. Everything makes sense. I understand the FT plugin and the plugin directory are both just plain neovim conventions. Potentially the Lua folder as well, but Lua folder is definitely what Lazy is looking at for all of these requires. I like the order that he put things in and how he broke it up into like configuring the LSP and then doing remaps after plugins are all loaded. Okay, and the LSP is specifically LSP key maps. Let me look back at the order. That's interesting. So he does the LSP key maps first because those are just commands. I guess it's fine to do those before the plugins has been included. Which again, this is where Lazy's actually installed. So you're not going to have these plugins installed in theory. Or I'm completely misunderstanding another aspect of how Lazy works and how the Lazy loading. That actually might be part of this, is the whole Lazy loading aspect of Lazy means things aren't always procedural. Or not always sequential. I don't know. Because yeah, this is where you're using the LSP config plugin. Okay. So now I want to jump back over to the basics. Require Lazy setup plugin. So this was how Typecraft set it up. And he's leveraging the fact that what John mentioned, him not liking, is you get this one-line Lua file, and that means it's going to yoink in everything from that folder. So to make a directory of plugin configurations, that is how Typecraft did it. And I think I'm going to follow his pattern for now, just because, I mean, the plugin folder inside or outside of the Lua directory basically is the question. I kind of like having everything inside Lua, and I've been following Typecraft's videos, so I'm going to continue with setting mine up the way he's got it. But I do really like how John's is set up. So once I make it to the end of his video series and kind of learn things a bit better, I might copy what John's rocking, because I do think it's very clean. I am going to steal some ideas from this thing regardless. So the way that we get this swapped over from what we have now is dude, I don't know how to do stuff with my vanilla neovim configuration. So I should be able to split, right? All right, so this is just the one line. Right, this is where we just want a one-line file, return an empty dictionary. That's going to cause it to yoink in the directory. We already made the directory, but now we want to actually take these things into it. And each of these simply returns a dictionary. So this is what he's got for Capuchin. So we're going to do something similar for Tokyo Dark. Gosh, now John's config's going to be stuck in my head because I do kind of like how he had that set up and I understand better now. Goodness, I don't want to think about Git. So if we go into that folder, this is where we're going to touch Tokyo Dark, hyphenated. Lua. And then what were the other? Tokyo Dark, Telescope, NeoDev. All right, we're starting there. Tokyo Dark. And now we should be able to return. Oh, it's inside like 2 dictionaries. I also don't know how much I like that, but oh, that's because he's still doing multiple plugins per file in some cases. That makes sense. So for this, I like how much I'm doing file system stuff just because I can't do things with like, we're going to do NeoTree next. We're going to get that config in there because that'll definitely help me. So Lua, base. This stuff is weird. I don't love how I have that set up, but we're going to start with Tokyo Dark. Here I'm going to I'm just going to come over here. So look at what I have. I mean, Tokyo Dark is literally just the string. So it's going to be return. Is it Tokyo Dark.envim tiagov LA. Oh man, I really need to get NeoTree. That's gonna make some of this way easier. So the NeoDev was a different one. The clipboard is the other bit. We're gonna add that to the base. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna get a couple of my like essential things in here because I'm really struggling to navigate neovim at this point. Wish I'd had all of my tea earlier. But yeah, let's see what I have my base here. Yeah, this is my basic options. This looks good to put in base. Then I would want my key maps. And this I'm going to think through. Like some of these I'm going to pull out, but right now, actually, yeah, let's just drop these at the end of this base file for now. So it's kind of a multi-use base file at the moment, but first I just want to get some of this stuff functional. So now, okay, sick. Yeah, I've got my binds. I think I should now have yes, okay, clipboard is set up. I got my find, clear that, relative line numbers. Okay. Whoo! You ever like are walking around not your house and you're just confused on where to find anything? Like you're in somebody else's kitchen and you just need a knife and you're like, I have no idea where the knives are. That was me with this freaking config until I just got at least the basics. Okay, so what I need next, I want to do NeoTree. So here we're going to jump over to Lua plugins, touch neotree.lua, back over here. I love you so much. I'm sorry. I love you. The 3-year-old is popping off. My wife brought me dinner because she's amazing, and I'm so slow at configuring neovim. I just refuse to leave before I have a half functional editor. Okay. I'm the guy that's like, neovim config doesn't have to be hard, but it's freaking hard for me. All right, so we got the basics here. This shouldn't be needed. So this is the weird bit. I did telescope. Gosh, still trying to use that. I didn't do telescope. Yeah, telescope is empty. Do I need a different music? Kind of falling asleep low-key. Alright, my wife just gave me another beverage. And that's a terrible idea because if you know me, you know I just knocked over my first beverage of this stream. So I don't know what she expects to happen, but it's probably going to be catastrophic. Let's see, what's Leet? How's Leet as a playlist? Alright, we're going to the hardcore. I just realized I haven't been looking at chat at all, but I've been focused, and that's probably a good thing. Just found the knives in this Kulik Sense project. Nice. Oh, Lavo, it's so good to have you here. Alright, I missed a lot. So Lavo, I tuned out literally as Olavo joined stream, and that was definitely a defense mechanism. I was just like, Olavo's here. I'm going to stop reading chat and feel good about myself for the next 15 minutes, because after that, all bets are off. Am I right? Oh, you got a tweet for me, do you? Look what Paraz told me. Oh, yeah, I heard. So Paraz helped you get a WSL setup rolling, right? Yeah, this is wild. I'm so stoked to see it, though. That's fantastic. Yeah, Paraz did a full lazy rewrite recently. I saw him mention this on Twitter. So he rewrote all of his config in lazy. And I think he said it ended up taking him like 6 hours or something wild. But he was doing a couple things along the way. He like revamped his config, kind of like how I was just using. Yeah, so that's the wild part, is he's not using WSL here. Which, Olavo, honestly, you should just use WSL, but I digress. I want to do WSL. I want to try to run Arch in WSL. Is that a thing? I mean, I do just need to partition my drive, and I'm going to set up a couple distros. Excuse me. Tempesty over on YouTube says, hi, I was learning Python for 1 week and got too confused, so I gave up. But I like watching people code because it feels cool and you look chill, so I'm here. Well, love having you here, Tempesty. I enjoy talking with beginners. I enjoy coding and helping anybody who's getting into coding. So I've helped about half a dozen friends over my career transition into tech. So I'm somebody that believes in the ability to transition into tech. I've gotten several of my friends their first jobs. Got to manage some of my friends that did that, which is really cool. But if you have any questions, definitely feel free to ask me any questions about dev stuff, about programming or learning. I'm not, the smartest. Take my opinions with a grain of salt, as you should everyone's. But super glad to have you here regardless. Welcome. And yeah, if you want at any point, if you have any questions, you can treat this a bit like an AMA. I just need to wrap up Neotree and feel like I'm in a good place with my config, and then I might chill and eat for a bit. Oh, nice. I got your name right on the first try. But yeah, so I've got some food in front of me I need to eat at some point, so we can maybe switch to an AMA format for a few minutes while I eat some dinner. Use the Arc browser. I love roasting native. It feels so good. It's not WSL. Yeah, dude. Definitely just use WSL at that point. I don't know why you're against it, but hey, I respect your ability to have an opinion no matter how bad it is. Mukbang stream, exactly. Lois said, I'm currently head deep in deploying GitLab with their Docker Compose example and using Traefik to expose container ports and SSH route through TCP. That is quite a task. I've done a bit of Docker work in my life, but I really like the idea of having your own GitLab set up like that. That's actually really freaking dope. GitLab is one of those things that I've always wanted to move things to and understand well and use well, so I could have like my own Git. I might want to look at your setup there. I don't know if that's allowed with why you're working on it, but I'd be curious how you end up doing that. Also, why are you? Yeah, that's a better question, is to ask you, why are you doing that setup? Is it for a personal? It's for a group of friends running a Git thing, or is it for work stuff? Using PowerShell been fun. I don't like PowerShell, dude. I just like Windows Terminal. Windows Terminal is such a great app. Like I was trying to use WesTerm on Windows initially, and then there's no Kitty on Windows, I believe. At least last time I was looking at things. Why did I do Kitty SSH? Is Kitty on Windows? Am I stupid? Am I big dumb? Or is just like... Yeah, Kitty's not for Windows. So yeah, I did WesTerm, but then I downloaded the Microsoft Terminal app and it was fantastic. Because there are 6 identity providers I need to write. Already done GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and now you do a GitHub Enterprise, GitLab on-prem, and Bitbucket server. So GitLab is the first in the on-premise category for Daytona. Okay, but back to my question, why? Like, is this something you're being forced to do for work, or is this a learning thing where you just want to learn the crap out of all the identity providers and have an adapter for everything? Ooh, is it for a product you're working on, and that's a feature, that's like an aspect of your software, so you're learning all of them? Regardless, that's some cool work you're working on. All right, so we were at me bricking ChatGPT. I did manage to get it working now. No, it's on the wrong freaking account still, apparently. Yo, are you kidding me? And now it's bricked again because I refreshed. Bro, why does ChatGPT hate me? I can't use AI more this year. I give up. Oh my gosh, what happened to that tweet, by the way? Is anybody making fun of me for being an idiot? Soul sausage making live. Alright, yo, Denny with that. That was why I got some friends over from Denny's Twitter. Oh, sorry, I just headbutted the freaking mic. Dude, I am dying. My nose is... oh my goodness. Alright, enough tweeting, enough twittering. I'm gonna run out of Kleenexes, y'all. This is bad. I'm gonna have to end stream to go get more Kleenexes. We gotta go, but I've subbed to your channel, so if you ever feel like learning how to code again, I know where to go. Thank you, Tempesty. I really, really do appreciate that. And I am going to be streaming a lot more in the new year, so Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is my ideal schedule, but I might be streaming more than that early on. So the funny thing will be, and it'll work for different time zones probably, but planning on streaming first thing in the morning, and my desk got moved to our master bedroom, so my wife might be sleeping while I'm streaming in the morning. So I'm gonna have to talk really quietly, and so those streams are gonna be like co-working ASMR stream because I'm gonna have to whisper real quiet and turn up the gain on my mic, and that's why I put the clicky keyword. Which, do I have it muted? No. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be like plus 12 hours from now. So I think that'll work out with certain time zones a lot better. Oh my goodness, if I wasn't dying, like literally dying, I would probably stream longer tonight, but I kind of feel like I'm dying, so maybe not. Yeah, thank you, Tempest. Take it easy. Alright, so next thing I wanted was Neo Tree, but I've also been told I need to learn oil, which is an alternative, basically. Okay. I get it, and it's kind of nice. I like this idea. So it does file operations. You inform it how to do file operations by writing in a Vim buffer. So you just write out the directory structure and then basically run the file, and it's going to make those file system changes. Let's try it. Why not? So with our setup, adding a new plugin is as simple as just doing a new oil file, and then we're going to return that as the dictionary. And now they say add this to your init.lua. That's not great. So let's add this in and see if it fixes the issue. No. So the weird thing is, if I'm understanding lazy correctly, we shouldn't have to do this if we do config equals true. Navigating the parent directory of the file. Okay, this is kind of cool. So I'll just do this for now. Edit dot netrw local browse check. So oil hasn't been installed. Okay, I screwed something up. Wait, what happened to my telescope configuration? Oh. That's why. Okay. I'm super dumb, but I never actually got this changed. So, because I never finished the telescope setup, which we actually don't know if this is going to work. Oh my gosh, the fact that I actually have all of my like normal keybinds and like basic config does make this so much easier. Okay, so now telescope should be configured, but none of that matters until I change this. So neodev, Tokyo Dark. Yeah, the neodev configuration I don't have. So that should install neodev. How did I do telescope? I need to make this a return. Add a dictionary around it, I believe, right? Now, the real question, the real test here is when I change that. So delete these lines and get, it's a string, I believe, plugsins. This was from lazy. No, this wasn't from lazy. This was from string plugins. All right. Oh, that's so funny. Now that I'm used to, actually I still want that tab. What am I doing? Cool. Tokyo Dark got worked. What the heck? Add it to the config of the plugin. See, so I have so it's Tokyo Dark. Error detected while processing. Failed to load plugins. Bad argument to require string expected got table. There shouldn't be a require on the plugins. Did I screw that up? Return. I put require. Holy, that was quite a mistake to make. Okay. Invalid spec module plugins on neotree. Expected a table of specs. Okay. That's because neotree. I'm just gonna get rid of. All right. So now, oil. Tokyo Dark NVIM is not installed. And it can't find the repository for Tokyo Dark. How did I screw that up? I typoed it. I guarantee you. just one word. Yep. Oh, goodness. Alright, so now that I'm actually installing stuff, if we run lazy, we should see oil. Since we've got oil, we should be able to to edit the parent of this. And this is now my file explorer. How do I go back? Control O? Yeah? Nice! Because it's just Vim buffers. So, go into plugins, and here, I don't need NeoTree anymore. Add it to the config of the plugin as empty file. It's the NeoTree file. Yeah. Giannis had me the whole time. You were picking up all of my mistakes, but luckily I fixed them quick-ish enough. Jen Champagne, thank you so much for the follow. I saw you over in Spiro's stream. Is that correct? Did you come over from there? Oh my goodness, I am literally dying on stream tonight. I need to get out of the suit. My goodness. Okay. If I stream again today, it's going to be a cozy stream, and I probably won't be coding. There's a chance after the kids go to bed, I might do a second stream, and it might be playing some video games with some other devs from Twitch. Because we've been talking about that. Alright, so what do I want to add? Let's pick another plugin, any plugin. Thank you, Ahmed. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go chill and watch your YouTube video, to be honest. I really want to see what you're doing with VS Code now. Alright, none LS got replaced, right? Let's do tree sitter though. Definitely want my tree sitter. Wait, I'm copying from Typecrafts, which is fine. Let's use his, and then I'll look at my tree sitter config. Excuse me. Where is my tree sitter config? Vim tree sitter run equals TS update. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have. So the way he was doing it was build is TS update. And then he's got a config for... Okay. I like this. I like this config. Let's rip it off. Okay, so this is our treesitter.lua. You know what? I'm just going to go hard. We're going to do Mason and LSP config. Because what the heck? Let's just do our neovim. Let's do our LSP next. Okay. Alright, so I think if I make these just returns... We're going to start with the tree sitter, though. Alright, so Yoink is tree sitter. Yoink is LSP config. Okay, so I actually like this, by the way. I don't know exactly how somebody would feel about this, but... Plugins not Mason. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I know that error. I know that's screwed up. Okay, so we got tree sitter. I can't do dot to invoke oil in Vim dot. Do I have to get rid of Mason? Okay, so the LSP config becomes the place you put. So this is the reason that the way Typecraft had this set up, he's doing 2 dictionaries, right? There's a bigger dictionary or a list. It's a list of plugin specs. And so he does Mason LSP config, NVim LSP config. Yeah, brain's definitely functioning. And neovim LSP config on the same file, which I kind of like that because it's just like I always had a different file for Mason. It's kind of like that was the source of a lot of my confusion actually. So now we should have LSP config in Mason. Kind of make changes. Modifiable is off. This sounds bad. NVim set option value. Okay. It's in my base. CMP and then LSP. Okay. How would be his completions? So I think this is the best way for me to get into oil right now. I should make a keybind for that, but this is fine. So the issue is my base. Line 62, I believe it said. Wait. CMP, yeah. Okay. Goodness gracious. Adding completions. So that's the funniest part of this, is that because I was on a Bort setup for a while, I actually... Module not found. That's because I need to actually add the completions. So I'm not using my keybinds that I'm used to because I got used to using escape since I didn't have my normal keybind. So now I'm like using escape rather than my JK, which is my normal sequence for escaping. All right, so now we're installing the completions TLSP. This gives us a different error, which has to do with our base.lua file. It's line 67, not line 62. This is where I'm setting my options. This can't happen. So options can't be set because of the order in which I'm setting up my... Okay, this music is not it. Elite playlist is hitting a little too hard. So base isn't working after lazy setup now. If I do that, cannot find color scheme. Super late here, need to get going. Take it easy, be honest. Appreciate that. Ahmed, the games that we would be playing is World of Warcraft Classic. We've got a group, Acorn, Black Glasses from the Alt F4 stream, Melky, and Juicebox Hero. We're all doing some dungeons together. Wow. I was saying we should stream it at one point. I just feel a little awkward streaming like games and not programming, because that's not normally what I stream. But I want to stream it just to have clips, just to be able to clip stuff later on, because there's some shenanigans we get up to, man. It's been a good time. We've had a lot of fun playing some classic WoW. Last night it was like I was laughing so hard I was almost crying. It was actually hilarious. It's just such a funny group of people, such a good group of peeps. All right, so what's going on here? The color scheme is now the issue. So this is where options, plugins, remaps. So I want to move bass up. Plugins. Oh no. Okay. Can't use oil. Cannot use oil. I borked everything. Everything's super borked. Oh, I borked everything too bad. Okay, so the sets are the main issue. No, it's the options. Why would the options... This is giving issues if it comes after, but then this comes before it doesn't have these things. That's what's screwing it up. Frickin' A. I really borked this setup, huh? Currently on F1 in COD addiction mode. Nice. Alright, I know what I screwed up. Did I not make a remap file? Yeah, that's the issue. Now this should have the Tokyo Dark stuff.
Show 'em how we do it. It's like
No, I already got rid of the Tokyo stuff. Which I don't have saved anywhere. Okay, so what issue am I getting now? Module remap's not found. And init.lua. It was plural. Plan 1 quit with exit code. Yo, I managed to like really work my setup. Okay, I need to copy some of what's in here to get myself out of this, because I really managed to screw things up. Now it's making it a pain. So what happened with the completion stuff? It's not ready. So he just has Vim options, Vim plugins. Inside the coffee table.
show 'em how we do it. It's like
All right. So I'm digging myself out of a hole here. and my kids are popping off. So I'm going to stop stream because my brain's melting anyways. I'm going to fix all of this by just nuking it. But the big important thing here is if I was using Git and actually committing like I should have been, then this would be way easier because I could just blow away my current commit. That's why you commit while you work, folks. If I was using good Git discipline, I would be in a much better place. But yeah, kids are having issues. I'm going to go help the wife. Like I said, I might be streaming again later. But I'll definitely be streaming tomorrow, probably in the morning. And I'm going to be working on, hopefully tonight I'll get this config to a reasonable place. And so I'll be working on actual code for an actual website. Because I'm trying to build a hours tracker for the new year. So I can track how many hours I code over the course of the year. So that'll be fun. And I'm thinking of doing that with Astro in SSR mode. So I want to play with Astro SSR mode. This should be a super simple, straightforward app. So I'm just going to hack it together. Probably do like planet scale for the database or something. I don't know. Thought about you doing Terso. It doesn't matter much what I use for the database for this thing. But yeah, because I'm going to post a video. And that's another thing. I should have... Hey, Michael Norm. What's up? Michael Nom. So glad to see you here on YouTube. Unfortunately, I am about to end stream. But I was just talking about what we're going to be doing next. So tomorrow I'm going to start coding on a project. We'll probably have a bit more focus on that. But if you want to follow me on socials, I'm on TikTok and Instagram now. And I should make commands for those. But Nate's Code is the Instagram. Oh gosh. Nate's _code on Instagram. Is it an @ How do you link to Instagram profiles? I don't freaking know. Watch me, I think it's tiktok.com/@. Yep, there it is. Okay, so I don't know if I can post these links in YouTube chat, but I started posting, and my goal is to post more short form videos. So I'll be posting them to both of those channels, as well as maybe YouTube Shorts if I figure that out. But I've been talking about my objectives for the new year. My first objective is to build Scrappily, and that's what we're going to begin tomorrow. So my goal is to like ship an app by the weekend, or by the end of the weekend. So it's going to be a super simple app. I'm going to throw it together with the super simple-ish stack, and should be really fun. So thank you, Michael, for swinging by. But yeah, I'm stoked that I showed up recommended somewhere. That's really cool. But yeah, we've just been hacking on a neovim config. I got sick and my kids are popping off, so I'm going to cut it for now. Might be streaming some games later, although that I would probably do only on Twitch, probably not on YouTube. But we've got a group of dev streamers who are all playing some WoW Classic together. So if you're interested in that, check out Twitch later tonight, potentially. I might stream it, might not. We'll see what happens. But this has been super fun. I learned a lot. My main goal with this was learning about lazy, and I feel like I did do that. I'm getting like the neovim configuration issues where once you bork your config, like working on it is way harder because nothing works and everything just goes to crap. So that's always fun. But I learned a lot, and I learned it by reading the docs. So this is one of my big beliefs that I would advocate anybody learning stuff is just go and read the freaking manual. Lazy's README, look at this. This thing is like 1,000,000 lines long. We didn't even read all of it, but most of the information that we needed came directly from just reading the manual. So that's something I'm advocating for. I might do it more on Twitch, where I just literally open something up and like learn by going through the docs. The other reason being, I want to work on being a technical writer and a docs writer at the same time. And so I'm going to work with some open source projects and try to do that. And a good way to learn how to write good docs is to read good docs. So that's one of my other goals in the new year, is just to read more manuals. And doing it on stream sounds like really boring and cheap content, but that's how I'm going to learn. So maybe people want to watch me do that for things. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll be on Astro SSR, and tonight maybe some games. come to us at TRPC. Dude, I would be down to work on TRPC. That's definitely one of those projects I feel I don't know enough. I'm not smart enough yet. But I want to work on my TypeScript. I'm going to grind some of Type Hero stuff and try to get better at TypeScript. And I feel like if I feel a little better about my TypeScript, I can maybe help out. Also just using TRPC more. I have like a couple TRPC side projects I did in various states of app directory alpha. And I hit a lot of walls with that for other reasons, not TRPC's fault, but I was trying to use like the new Create T3 app before it was really ready. So that's something we'll be revisiting. I have one project that I'm definitely building in next, so that'll be on the horizon. But yeah, other than that, thank you everyone for hanging out. I'm just going to find somebody to raid and end the stream. I haven't run ads, I just realized, all stream. So people that are coming in are getting hit with pre-roll. But you know what? Screw ads. I mean, they're still getting ads, but I'm sick of like running ads while I stream, and I think it's lame. So let's raid out. Man, I'm really feeling sick. I might stream like no mic if I stream games tonight. Our docs needs to improve in 311. Yeah, no, I'd be down to help out with some doc stuff. We should definitely talk. Feel free to pass my info along or ping anybody over there. I should get in your Discord, I'm assuming. TRPC Discord. I'm assuming that's a thing. Yeah, I'll see y'all over at the Discord. If you need help on docs, I'll try to be good enough to write docs. My goodness, what are these captchas? They're so freaking hard nowadays. No, I want this to open in Discord. Oh. Anyways, I will pop over there. But yeah, excited for the new year. Excited to do more streaming. I got like all my basics set up today, other than like the scuffed mic that I knocked over my tea with. But hey, we had fun. Maybe I can make a funny clip out of that for YouTube Shorts. Okay. We're gonna read to Spiro because Spiro is streaming. So go over if you're on Twitch. Get better. I just saw, speaking of the devil, he is lurking in the chat, and I appreciate that lurk. But yeah, join us to raid Spiro. I may have influenced him into wearing nice clothes on stream as well, so be sure to compliment his tie. That's the raid message. Alright, everybody raid and say nice tie in Spiro's channel. Take it easy, have a wonderful night.